Well, I am back home. It is nearing midnight. I thought I ought to do my daily work vlog for the day. Despite still traveling today, still being a vacation day, I was still able to hit a personal record. I did 7 lessons on my Udemy courses yesterday. Today, I did 7 lessons plus a quiz. So I did a little more than I did yesterday. And that's kind of my philosophy going forward for this year, for accomplishing these goals I have, is to hit a personal record every day. And it can be in a different domain every day if need be. So it could either be more time, you know, more quantity of work, more time in the cloud, more time building a project, or it can be qualitative in nature. You can have goals like, I'm gonna make this new feature on my app, and I want to be able to, clear this many of my test cases first try, right? So it could be something qualitative in nature, or quantitative, though I have a feeling most of them will be quantitative in nature as far as personal records. But it's a philosophy I heard actually from another YouTuber, a fitness YouTuber, Eric Bugenhagen, which he's going to hate that I'm using this because I'm a certified pencil neck being in the cloud. But he always talked about, going to the gym. He tries to hit a personal record every time to be excited about going to the gym. And I think the same can apply to your work, to your study. If you hit a personal record each time, it gets you excited every day to go in, day out, because you are progressing every day. It gives you, it gives you something for your brain to like latch onto and say, we are progressing today. And I think, especially with the goal I have, working 6 days a week on this goal, on this professional goal that I have, it's very important to avoid burnout. It's important to avoid feeling like you're in the slog and just going through the motions. Oh, I feel like I'm not progressing. You can progress every day if you are progressing and trying something new. You could be burnt out for that day and you're not going to be able to hit a qualitative goal about, maybe being able to have a certain accuracy on a quiz, or certain accuracy on something you're building, or building something for the first time. Maybe you fail and you're just not in the groove that day. Well, hey, you can do an extra lesson more than you've ever done before. You study Udemy, let's say you do 7 courses. All right, well, I've never done 8 courses in a day. So you can at least, put in the work for that. And with Eric, the way he talked about it in the gym, it's like maybe you can't hit your 1 rep max for the day. See if you can do an all-time best on your 2 rep max. Okay, you're not feeling that. See if you can do an all-time best on a 5 rep max. And he's like, and if you're really out of the groove, you take everything off the bar. See if you can hit an all-time max with like 100 reps. Something small, something simple, but you want to progress every day, regardless. So that's a philosophy I'm taking into the new year, that I'm hoping will help me reach levels in programming, in cloud computing, and just in my academics in general that I haven't reached before. So yeah, that's kind of my tip for the day. Something, I figured I'd mention it because I just watched it. I watched The Walk. It came out in 2015. It's about Philippe Petit, the wire walker who walked between the World Trade Centers back in 1970 something. Amazing film, beautiful film. I'd seen it recommended in my shorts, so my wife and we watched it, and it was very inspiring. As far as the new year goes, I mean, nobody watches these. I mostly just make these for myself. But if somebody else in the world is watching this video, I highly recommend watching it. It was a very inspiring film, and it was heart stopping at times. You know, I struggle with heights. I struggle with heights, and so I was like sitting there like like, you know. But it's a really good film, very inspiring, and like I felt like it inspired me to reach more and want to do more. Um, I think I've always been an artist at heart, um, despite the fact that I'm going into a technical field that can become my art, if that makes sense. Uh, it seems the medium, you know, I think the medium of your art matters much less than using whatever medium is available to you to express yourself, right? For Philippe, it was wire walking. When I was younger, a lot of my art was poetry and writing music, which I'd still like to do someday. I'd like to get back into that. But for me right now, at the age of 26, my medium of expressing myself is my work and my studies, and just truly, you know, I don't want to say losing myself, but really just losing myself uh, to my studies, and to like making it. You have to make it more than a job, you know. If you're just in something and it's just a job, if it's just a paycheck, you're just always gonna hate your work. You know, that's why I got into this field. Is I feel like, especially architect, like code architecture, cloud architecture, solutions it's more than just a job. I feel like, which I didn't feel that at first, I will admit. I felt like at first I was having to force myself because you have to start with your ABCs, and that can be very painful, starting out in programming or software or whatever, you know, in the tech field. But now we're past, once you get past your ABCs, the basics, and you can start building beautiful things, right? And so I think that's important for anyone in any profession. And to I used to hyperfixate on the medium in which I was expressing myself. Uh, for a long time, for me, it was content creation, like this here. And I realized though that when I tried to make content creation the way that I would support my family and stuff, it lost the art to it. With this profession, and it sounds counterintuitive, I know, but because you're solely in this profession, you know, to provide value to clients, employees, provide value to clients, value to employers, and to earn a paycheck at the day. It weirdly kind of relieves that expectation, because these jobs have salaries, right? You know, YouTube doesn't have that. And so it's kind of been freeing in a way of just like, I can lose myself into this, and then I get an internship, and you know, there's a path, and they just give you a set amount of money for all this hard work that you put in, where YouTube's not like that. So it's actually been very freeing for me. Um, this got a little more into a philosophical tangent, but this helps me. You know, I make these to help myself, and I think over time maybe it can also help other people. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking about today, and I have a lot more thoughts I'd like to share at some point. Maybe I'll share them right now. There was something else I've been thinking about that it reminds me of another philosophy I've been thinking about a lot. I've wanted to get on video. at the expense of maybe sounding a little long-winded, is the concept of treating your profession, treating your studies like you are in a competition, like you are competing and you have an ambition to become a chess grandmaster, right? Chess grandmasters, they are so good at chess that they can be paid and make a living off of playing the game, you know? And very few people who play chess reach that level. I play chess from time to time. I'm not very good at it, but I've also recognized that I'm at that point in the game where if I wanted to get good at it, I'd have to devote a lot of time to theory and memorization, and I just recognize that, like, I understand a lot of people like the game, but it'd be a waste of my time, because the thing I want to spend time in the theory and the memorization of is my field, is my career, is the architecture of software. It's so cool. And so I started thinking, maybe I should eventually work my way up to the point to where I am performing and learning and essentially competing at the level that a professional chess grandmaster would, right? And I feel like when you get to that point, and I don't know what a chess grandmaster's daily schedule looks like, but I listened to a chess grandmaster recently in an interview. I think this interview was taken a few years ago, but I saw it in a clip. Magnus Carlsen. He was talking about how a lot of kids his age, when he was young, who were into chess, they force themselves to do the drills and the exercises and work, and they always saw it as work, right? But he said he was just obsessed with the game, and it never felt like work to him, and he never really had work ethic the way they did. Yet he is the greatest chess player who's ever lived. Is that partly due to genetics? Probably. But also, I think it's also due to the fact that he was talking about how he never stops thinking about the game. He's constantly reviewing old games that he's played. He's constantly in his mind. He was like, in this interview right now, there's a game in my head that I'm thinking about, that I'm analyzing and reviewing the moves for. And that's so cool to me. Like, can you imagine being able to take that mindset into your job? That mindset, and I'll be the first to admit, I don't think you can do it for every job. I was in a job at one point that I just could not devote myself fully to it. It was a blue collar job, and there was no room for improvement or artistic, anything. It was a manual labor, repetitive job, right? So, I spent most of my time just daydreaming, but not all jobs are like that. I think there's jobs, there's craftsmen and tradesmen jobs. There's sales jobs. I know a lot of salespeople get very passionate about it. I'm not much of a sales guy, but so yeah, I was just thinking about that concept of being so obsessed with what you do that you just think about it all the time. I love it. I love the idea of being obsessed with something. I admit I think I have an obsessive personality, and my time on YouTube's up. I have like 30 seconds, but I just wanted to share that. It's something I've been thinking about outside of my plans for the New Year's and stuff. But my video time's up, so that's all.